Alright. Hello. Thank you for watching. I love religious freedom, and I love the Constitution of the United States of America, which grants it to people under its jurisdiction. So let's talk for a little bit about that. Of course, the United States Constitution is the document which is the foundation of the government. It says what the different branches of government are, what their powers are, how the government is supposed to work in general. There were people that did not want the Constitution, and not because they were against human rights or things like that. They were fearful that the Constitution would lead to a tyranny, like the King George, who refused to let the colonies, for example, end slavery. Several colonies tried to end slavery before the Revolution happened, and they were prevented from doing that. So they were worried about this. Some of those people who did not want the Constitution because they were worried about tyranny decided to accept it when they were promised the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. One thing the Constitution did was created a way that it could be changed if need be. It's not easy, but it's doable. And sometimes we have needed to change some things to make it better. These 10 amendments are all limitations on the government so that the people have rights, because the people that were against the Constitution were worried about tyranny. All of these rights are things that you get to do, but they don't cost somebody else. That's an important thing in defining rights. Except for the right to a fair trial by a jury and that extra process of getting a search warrant that the police are required to go through. The rights in the Bill of Rights do not cost the government money. And those rights that do cost the government money in the government functioning to do them, but it's not a payout to the person. The First Amendment to the Bill of Rights includes 2 clauses that relate to the subject of religious liberty. One is, Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion, nor prohibiting the free exercise thereof. So, that first line, it says Congress is the one that can't make a law. Some of you might be wondering, why doesn't it say the government? Why does it leave out the president or judges? Here's why. Congress is the one that has the power in the Constitution. The president's powers are limited to enforcing laws. He does not get to make them. So no matter how much a president, if he obeys the Constitution, wants something to be, if he cannot convince Congress, he doesn't get to do it. Unless we are talking about obvious national self-defense. The president does not need to get permission from Congress to send the militia to repel an invading army, no matter how ragtag the army is. If it's an army, the president gets to stop it. Alright, and so Congress is where the power is, and that's why it says that. Judges don't get to write laws if they obey the Constitution. They are just handling the cases. And the Constitution doesn't even give the judges the power to declare things unconstitutional, but the Supreme Court has staked out that claim. And for over 200 years, that has been the way we have handled things. And the Supreme Court has come up with some great decisions over the years. So maybe that's a good thing, that we do have them there to stand up for our rights. They've also come up with some really bad decisions, too. Alright, so Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion. So that clause stakes out the right for people under the jurisdiction of the Constitution to start religions. You should not need to get permission from the government to start religion. And to exercise, nor prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Notice how it does not say worship. See, your constitutional right is not only to go to church and hear things, but you get to act on those things when you leave church. There are some governments that have in their constitutions the right to worship, but then once you leave that church, you don't get to act any differently. You better do everything that everyone else is doing and obey every single law, even the ones that are against your religious beliefs. Alright. So, these rights sometimes are called natural rights because we are endowed by our Creator with inalienable rights. They are inalienable. They can never be taken away. They're always there with you, even if some tyrant is ignoring them. But they're there. So these rights, there's a principle that I hope the whole world will follow sooner instead of later. A lot of places in the world follow this principle. The government lets people have their worship. It doesn't matter how you worship God. You should have the right to your beliefs and to live your life. Let what you hear on church affect what you do. So the principle of religious freedom, even if you're not in the United States of America, we can talk about the principle, and your government shouldn't be worried about how you pray or what you believe about God, as long as you don't believe God gives you the right or orders you to attack other people. And so hopefully that freedom will spread throughout the world. There's varying degrees of that in different countries. And there's a principle of just getting along. You shouldn't do things to other people you wouldn't want them to do to you. And so even if we're not talking about laws, society should not make certain things popular because it's just, you wouldn't want it done to you, so don't do it to somebody else. I'm going to make more videos where I get into specifics about what I see are violations, specific examples of violations I've heard of, or I've seen, or realistic hypothetical scenarios that I've thought of. But we should all respect each other's fundamental human right to religious beliefs. We should do that on an individual, personal level. We should do that at a governmental level too. And thank you for watching. You have a good day.